So I made a post yesterday about Andrew Tate and Jake Paul. And I kind of figured a lot of Tate bros would come out, and they did. And they were all surprised I took that take on Tate. I don't disagree with a lot of what Tate says. He says it in a dickhead way, but whatever. You got to get the clicks. The gist of what he's saying, I agree with enough of it. I don't believe he does. I believe he found a way to convince people that he's the top G, that he's all of that, and a bag of potato chips. I don't believe he believes it. If you listen to what he says throughout the years, the man's a disgusting human being. There's this gal, there's this post that he's bragging about. Yeah, I found this 16-year-old. He said, I don't care that she's 16. I used 21 at the time. I don't care. It means nothing to me. And then he went out with this 16-year-old and said, oh, man, this is before filters and before Instagram. He said, yeah, she catfished me. She was ugly as a sack of rocks. I still banged her. This is him talking about some young lady. When he's 21, she's 16. And I don't know where he was in the world at 21. Maybe he was in a place where it's legal, where it is completely fine to go out with 16-year-olds. Okay, it's legal. It's not right. I mean, and you're the top G, you should be able to, you're pulling the biggest baddies in the world, and you find a 16-year-old who's not experienced, but is attracted to your kickboxing success, and you take advantage of her, and then you brag about it for the rest of your life. He has a quote, I'm going to screw it up a little bit, but roughly it's, I'm not a rapist, but I like the idea of being able to do what I want without getting in trouble for it. That's disgusting. That is, I mean, if everything else he said is true, that there disqualifies him from being a real man. That there disqualifies him from being the type of person I would want anybody to listen to. He is a terrible human being for those two things alone. And I've done some research to find out everything bad he's done. And that yes, the liberal media hates him for a bunch of reasons I don't think are true. He's a misogynist. He's this, he's that. He talks like a dickhead for clicks. Maybe actually, I don't know. I know this Romania thing that he's been in jail for 2 years or close to it is probably not true. Maybe. I know he moved to Romania. He moved to Romania because his quote is 40% of the reason he moved to Romania is it's harder to be convicted of sex crimes. That's what he said. He is a small man, a weak man, a coward of a man. That is what he is. He made a lot of money. He has spent his time conning young men with what I don't know he believes, with flashy words. He found himself an audience, and then he goes out and he pimps these women. And you hear a lot of it. Sometimes it's not even the women. It's him behind a keyboard or his brother behind a keyboard, stealing these young men, these rich men, these lonely men's money. It's despicable what he has done. It's despicable who he is, and that people continue to support him. It's unfathomable. It's a hard word to say at 7 a.m. I am not a Tate fan. He was a good kickboxer. Although even that, I don't know the kickboxing scene. I'm an MMA guy. But there are half the people say, yeah, he was a regional kickboxer. And then the other half say, no, he's the greatest thing that's ever been. I don't know. Yeah, he was proud. He looks like an athletic dude. I know he's middle-aged and getting older, and he's no longer what he once was, but he still looks fairly athletic, so he must have been good. Maybe, probably. He's won some belts. I can dig it. But even that, I get the sense like he only did the kickboxing so he could brag about how badass he is. He just does stuff so he can try to impress people. That is where I'm saying he is the weakest man on the internet. He didn't do it for him. He didn't do it to prove he did it to impress people. He did it for the clicks. He did it because he wanted women to fawn after him. What he was arrested for in Romania was probably a trumped up charge. It was probably not worth the expense to try him. The women involved in it have, for the most part, all stood up for him. They have, for the most part, all said, no, we did it. We wanted it. We wanted this. We wanted that. But maybe the legal system shouldn't have done anything to him, but somebody should have kicked the shit out of him. Somebody should have shown up and taken care of that piece of garbage human being. So back to my original quote, he's a weak man. He's a small man. He's a coward of a man. And you don't need any other quotes than the one that said, yeah, I'm not a rapist, but I like the idea of being able to do what I want without getting in trouble for it. Tate, you suck. I hope the Jake Paul fight happens because I would love to see Jake Paul crumble you. I don't know that he would, but I would love to see it. If you guys have any more problems with my Tate take, go ahead, tell me in the comments. But that's a lot of what I'm basing it on is I don't believe he believes what he's saying. I believe he has found a way to get clicks. He has found a way to... He has found a niche topic, a niche way of being that the media doesn't ever let you hear any other way. That's who he is. Anyways, have a good day, guys.
April Baker.
There's one girl called April Baker. So listen, I'm me doing my thing, right? Bad boy. I'm about 21. And there's a young ting on Facebook, you know. Hottie.
Stop talking like that. You're not black.
I am as black as they come. You don't hear my singing voice?
You're not. You can't sing.
Little sexy, little fat ass.
16, brother.
April Baker.
That was her name.
That was her name. And I was like, you're hot. So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck. So I pick up April Baker in my Mazda RX-8. Who knows about them cars? No one knows. No one knows about them.
Throwback.
So I pick up April Baker, and I was so disappointed. April Baker was the original catfish. Before catfish was a thing, April Baker was a thing. She went from a 10 to a 5. I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. 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 She's like, I'm only 16.